lost in the light. I pray for the night to take me to. After so many words, still nothing's heard. Don't know what we should do. So someone could see me now, let them see you. It was my greatest thrill when we just stood still. You let me hold your hand till I had my fill. Even counting sheep don't help me sleep. I just toss and turn right there beside you. So someone could help me now, they'd help you too. They help you too, see you through all the hard things we've all gotta do. 'Cause this life is long, so you wouldn't be wrong being free, leaving me alone. I held my own, still I rattled your bones. I said some awful things and I'll take them back. If we would try again, just remember when, before we were lovers, I swear we were friends. So someone could see me now, let them see you. Let see you through all the hard things we've all gotta do. 'Cause this life is long, so you wouldn't be wrong being free, leaving me alone.
Hi, I'm John DeVore. Welcome to the channel. Today I want to talk a little bit about business, and I want to talk a little bit about DeVore Fidelity as a company, as a business entity. But I want to start by, so last week I was at a party, and there were an inordinate amount of audiophiles there, including a lot of people from the hi-fi industry who I know. And I had a lot of fun. The host was great and had an excellent hi-fi system. But there was a couple of industry people who I know quite well, and they were having some conversation that I was not a part of, having to do with getting business advice, something like that. And suddenly one of them said, "Oh, well, you should just ask John DeVore. He's a great businessman." And I laughed and was like, "Yeah, right." And that guy who has known me for a long time and is in the hi-fi industry said, "Of course you're a great businessman. I mean, you're famous." And I laughed again and I said, "That may be true. I may be famous, but if I was a really good businessman, I would be rich and famous." And the fact is, um, I am not rich and famous. I am famous in, I guess, in this sort of very tiny sphere of high-end audio, and maybe slightly extended out into some of the sort of record buying community just from this YouTube channel here. But the fact is absolute that I am not a great businessman. And DeVore Fidelity, since it's been around for 25 years, if I was a great businessman, even combined or not with the fact that I'm famous, would make me, if I was a great businessman, would make me rich. It seems like it would sort of, it would almost be an equation there. But I wanted to talk a little bit about why and what sort of goes on in DeVore Fidelity as a company, and how things are have just recently changed significantly, and how and sort of what the trajectory of the company is. And so, for years and years and years, so if we've been around for 25 years, more than 15 of those years, it was essentially me and usually one employee doing all the final assembly, design, sales, marketing, inventory, shipping, all of that. And I had to basically do all of that. And then I would generally either have 0 employees, or I would have 1 employee assembling speakers, getting that kind of stuff done. I was doing literally 100% of everything else. I was making all the crossovers, everything, answering all the phones, replying to customer emails and inquiries, things like that, seeking out new dealers, policing the current dealer network, searching for international distributors, organizing everything to do hi-fi shows. Really, I was doing everything. And it was a tiny company, and it was tiny for so long, largely because of that situation. And I didn't really know how to make the next step. I couldn't really fit my mind around having other people do some of the things. It would take too long to train somebody up on all of the shipping logistics and all the different products, and how they shipped, and how each particular dealer had their weird shipping considerations, like what days they were open and closed. Some dealers wanted them shipped to their house. Some dealers wanted them shipped only to the stores. Some dealers had drop ships on some things. So each of the responsibilities that I had just would have its own layers of complexity. And it was easier for me to just do it all. And then in 2017, I hired someone named Dalia. And Dalia started off like any other regular hire. She replaced my one employee, Dave, who was moving to Florida. And so Dalia came in and was my new employee. And was great. Trained up right away, was building speakers. And a few months after she came aboard, I hired a second person. And both of these people were less than 40-hour-a-week employees. And it was humming along nicely. And Dalia was the first of all of that long string, 17 years of employees. She was the first one who started to take on other responsibilities, and therefore take those responsibilities off of my plate. So I was making a particular effort to try to run the business better, and try to become more meticulous, and try to get a little bit more systematic about a lot of the things that were just these sort of processes that happened outside of the, the assembling and the building and the design and all that kind of stuff. That was going to stay organic. But the shipping and the inventory and all of this kind of stuff, Dalia and I worked out and came up with solutions, and sort of evolved solutions and spreadsheets and shared documents and things like that that really made things, it kind of started to push this boulder up the hill of getting out of this tiny company one-man show operation. So she started to take over inventory, chores, and then from that began to develop relationships and started to order from various suppliers, getting capacitors, getting packaging material, refreshing, getting new drivers coming in. She started to take over more and more of those operations, and then she started to move into taking over the shipping, all of the shipping stuff. So starting with UPS small box, which is how we ship 99% of our stuff domestic. It all goes out UPS. She took over that account, started to do all of that just beautifully and arranging pickups and things like that. And then she started to take over the international shipping and filling out all the SLIs and signing the bill of lading and getting the invoices correct for different markets. Some need HTS codes and some need these crazy elaborate descriptions on the invoices. And again, it's all of these layers of complexity she began to absorb and take on to her plate. And that allowed me time to get better at answering dealer and customer questions, for sure. It got me more efficient at getting the design going. It allowed me to address production inefficiencies, and so we started to be able to ramp up production. And it really was a very slow and gradual but clear and persistent revolution in the way that DeVore Fidelity was being run, the way it was as a company. And as all of these things became more efficient, and as I had more headspace to address production efficiencies and things like that, I started to really focus on trying to reduce our back order times. We had back order times on most popular product like the Orangutan 096. Our back orders were a year long. Customers would go into a store, listen to 096s, like them, and if they chose to buy the 096 and that dealer didn't have inventory, which is the usual situation, that customer would have a year-long wait for their pair of speakers. So there was high incentive to try to reduce that waiting time, try to get our side of the equation a little bit more efficient, and try to basically be able to ship more speakers every month. And we started doing that, and we hired more people. I hired more people, and we started to actually grow in a way that was still extremely cautious and fairly slow, but real. And we became more efficient. We started to ship more speakers. I was able to put a couple of dealers on here and there who had been patiently waiting to become a dealer for years, in some cases. All of this sort of made the company more mature, for sure. And then a little over a year ago, and I've talked about this in other videos, we finally were able to expand our footprint here in the Brooklyn Navy Yard. It was very difficult. It was very slow. It was essentially, we had been trying for over 10 years to expand within the Brooklyn Navy Yard, but we wanted to find space. If we had to move our whole operation to a larger space, that would have been fine. So we were kind of looking for that, but our preference would be to find adjacent spaces to where we are currently situated. And that finally happened. So we doubled our footprint about a year ago. We doubled our footprint. We continue to add new employees, and the company has been humming along. Over the course of this past year, we gradually improved our workflow, and we have continue to be able to ship more speakers every month without changing anything about the way we make them. So they're still 100% entirely made by hand right here in our factory in the Brooklyn Navy Yard. But we just got better at it, and we got more space and more assembly tables, and we had more people doing it. And it's been amazing. It's been great. It's been a thrill, and it hasn't diminished. In fact, if anything, it has improved the way it feels to me as the person who is running DeVore Fidelity. It is better. It's more relaxed. It's allowed me to be, I think, a better boss. Dalia took over. She was production manager, and was, to a large extent, she was my liaison with the employees out there, and they all trained up, and it was humming along beautifully. And then Dalia, you heard me say was there a couple of sentences ago, and that's the case. So Dalia and her husband are moving out of the country. Great job opportunity for her husband, and I wish them well. And so Dalia is, as of this week, Dalia is no longer working here at DeVore Fidelity. We no longer have a production manager. We have trained up a few people, before Dalia left. She and I trained up a few people, so her responsibilities have been delegated out to 3 others, and they're shouldering their new burdens well, and that's all going to get better, and the flow is going to get back to where it was, and hopefully even improve further than that. But we are going to miss Dalia immensely. There's no question that she was the one who helped make everything that I just described, pulling that one-man operation, that one-man show out of the dark ages, and kicking and screaming to some extent, helping me, that caveman, see a better way. And I have seen the light. Thank you, Dalia. And from the whole staff here at DeVore Fidelity and also at Box Furniture, we just want to say thank you, Dalia! And Roxy will also miss you. And we just want to say thank you so much. We miss you already. But have an amazing time on your next chapter of your life. Hope you liked this video, and I will see you at the next one.